WNST, Towson, Baltimore, and WNST.net. It has been a little while since I've caught up with our next guest. I saw her at the Super Bowl, and she was jetting off to Korea, where she was trying to run up to the North Korea border. I was following her on Twitter, as tens of thousands do, in her homeland of Wisconsin and in her workland of Boston, where she went Olympics and got to me, the plum assignment of doing all things curling. And I'm still trying to figure it out. Trenni Kuznierek joins us now live via satellite from Boston, where they play first place baseball, then we play last place baseball. Trenni, welcome back. I know you've been back a little while now. We've been sort of ships passing in the night. You've got all those teams in the playoffs up there. I do appreciate the time, but curling, man, I mean, people ask you about this all the time, right?
They do. They do. I'm actually pretty impressed that when I go out places now, sometimes people will be like, I watched you on the Olympics. I was hooked on curling. I've never had that happen before. I actually had someone stop me at the Super Bowl and say to me, wow, you do a really great job on curling. I'm so excited to watch you at the Olympics. I was like, wait, what? Hold up, what? And we actually had a PR person from NBC that was standing next to me. He's like, did that really just happen? I was like, yeah, that just happened. People watch curling. This is amazing.
Well, I've had a real life and a radio life. I've been on the air 27 years here. I want to say maybe 16, a good chunk of it has been, I saw curling maybe when it sort of exploded onto all the channels that NBC would have, maybe 3 or 4 Olympics ago. So I go back to the turn of the century, and I got fascinated. And there is a place on the Eastern Shore here where they have curling. They have curling at the Laurel Ice Center, I believe. And I got invited, and somehow it never happened. And I must admit to you, in an embarrassed, red-faced, I've never curled. I've talked about it. I've watched it. But, you're on the inside of it. Can you give me, seriously, the professional story as to how you became the curling person, right? Because you're from Wisconsin. I'm assuming you grew up with it, but maybe not.
Nope. Never. I did one feature on it in the year 2000. And, let's see, 2014, so 14 years later, I got a call from NBC to say, hey, we've had a little change in the way we've staffed the Olympics. Somebody is unable to go, so we've had to move around some assignments. We can expedite your visa. How do you feel about covering curling in Sochi? And I was like, sure. I'm certainly not going to turn it down. I'm a fairly intelligent human being. I think I could probably watch some DVDs of curling matches of the trials and get a grasp of it and go from there. And that's what happened. I didn't step on curling ice for the first time and actually try it. That's not true. I tried it in 2000, and then I didn't try it again until right before I left for Pyeongchang.
It is such a wild thing to watch when, you're my age and had never seen anything like it till you got to your 30s, that this thing exists on the fringe in cold places as sort of this fun community, beer league, family, thing. I really am shocked that it hasn't caught on more than some, maybe a weird spectator sport every couple of years. And now you're sort of swept up into it. I mean, covering it, is it something that you would literally try to do in Boston with a bunch of people you like for fun? Because it does look something I would do for fun. Yeah,
absolutely. It's like, I mean, I don't even want to make this comparison because I don't want to make it seem like I think bowling is probably a little bit easier. I mean, a lot easier because you're not on ice. But it's kind of like that. It's fun. It's competitive. You're out there. I mean, if you go to a local, I went to a local curling club here to do a learn to curl little thing that we aired here before the Olympics started as a little feature piece leading up to the games. And, it's this lodge and it's cozy and there's a fireplace and they have competitive leagues and people get really into it, but they're also let's have a beer while we're doing it.
Yeah, there's also beer. I was going to say.
Yeah, there's beer and cocktails and all these other things. They do a lot of corporate outings. It's a great team building exercise, right? Because if you're playing 4-person curling, which is the typical team curling, everybody has to, help each other. You have to have somebody on one end telling you where you want the rock to go. You've got to have someone who throws the rock, and then you have 2 people who sweep the rock. So it's absolutely, it is a good corporate, like team building activity without a doubt.
You have the perfect Midwestern accents to call it the rock. Yeah, the rock. You know, I mean, that's what a great thing to call the object in your game, the rock, right?
Well, it's made out of granite, so it's actually like
it is
literally made out of a rock. So it's less about like, wow, that sounds cool with like a Canadian accent, and more about that's like really what it is.
Have you ever really done it? Like, seriously, have you gone out with family, friends, people in your life and said, I'm going to go do this for...
No.
You've never... I want to do it with you. That's it. I want to curl with someone who's also curling, with someone who could take me to people who could show me, like, how to really do it. You know, I don't...
Hard to do, Nestor. You live kind of far away, so not exactly just
is there a curling...
I'm sure you could find nice people in Baltimore, though, who will invite you for free to their curling club and teach you how to curl.
There are no curling clubs in Baltimore, Trenni.
Yes, there are. There are curling clubs everywhere. You're just not looking hard enough.
All right, I'm going to Google it.
Hopefully someone's listening to this and says, Nestor, there's one in your backyard.
There's one in
we have
Easton,
a bunch even
Maryland.
in Boston. So there's at least 3 or 4 that I know of in the greater Boston area. Actually, two Team USA members, neither of their teams made the Olympics, but they're both from the Boston area. Monica Walker and Kyle Dropkin are both from Boston.
Well, you have ice there to begin with, right? Start with that.
You have ice in I've been to Baltimore, not exactly like Miami.
This isn't a hockey place, though. Like, trust me, it's not. I mean, I'm trying to make it a hockey place for 3 decades, but it's not a hockey place. Trenni Kuznierek joining us here. She's from NBC Sports up in Boston, where they're in first place. Boy, it's busy up there, right? I mean, just everything going on, right? And it's not always that way, but it's been that way a lot lately, right? The competitive thing from one franchise to another up there is insane because everybody has to keep up with the Patriots, right?
Yeah, and actually, if you look at where the Patriots are coming off the loss in the Super Bowl and the just dissension within the ranks, they're probably the most dysfunctional franchise right now, right? So you have the Red Sox who are all kumbaya under Alex Cora. You know, I know they've lost a couple in a row, but did lose a couple in a row, but they're and got no hit, but they're still the best team in baseball. I mean, they're tearing the cover off the ball. They're getting great pitching from their starting rotation and from their bullpen, which looked like it could be a disaster after opening day. You've got the Celtics, who are defying all odds, and while they, lost 2 to Milwaukee, they've got a couple of young guys in Jaylen Brown and Jason Tatum that are like elevating this franchise and can only mean great things going forward. And then you have a young Bruins team too that's doing all the same thing. And then you have the Patriots right now, where like Tom Brady's agent has to come out and be like, no, we expect him to play. I mean, we do. We expect him to play. You've got Rob Gronkowski going to a super cross press conference and blathering about rooming and riding motorcycles, and Julian Edelman sub-Instagramming, like, subtext on his Instagram, all this stuff. It's kind of a mess in Foxborough right now.
Well, you got a lot of drama up there and a lot of media to cover all that stuff. Trenni, last thing for you. You were over in Korea, and I know you don't stick to sports. I follow you out on Twitter, and you're a bit of a hill charger running up toward the demilitarized zone. So, some thoughts about spending time over there and things that maybe you wouldn't have known if you hadn't spent time over there?
I mean, it was a really great experience. Like, I guess I was surprised at how much Korea felt a lot like the United States in terms of technology and infrastructure. Obviously, the food is different. They have a totally different idea. Like, they had to bring in someone to make us breakfast.
Well, they eat dogs there. I mean, I've read all this, so yeah.
I don't know that they eat dogs anymore, but they definitely have like seaweed and like dumplings and noodles for breakfast, which I'm like a bacon and eggs kind of a gal. So but they were so welcoming, and they wanted everyone that was there to enjoy their experience and have a good time, and it just was really. The people were really lovely. And it's I was surprised at how beautiful the terrain is. It's a really beautiful country. Like, we were on the coast where you've got the Korean Sea or the Sea of Japan, depending on what you choose to call it, right outside of our window, and there were these beautiful boardwalks and like running trails all around it. And then you go 45 minutes to an hour north, and you're in this gorgeous mountainous area with all these Buddhist temples and, ski, obviously places to ski and snowboard. And apparently Japan is similar. I've never been to Japan, but apparently Japan is like that as well. So I guess I just didn't anticipate it to be such a beautiful country.
Well, welcome home, and plenty for you and all of your colleagues at NBC Sports up in Boston to talk about.
Here.
Yeah, first place. I mean, we're not even allowed to call them the last place team. We have to say the fifth place Baltimore Orioles because, oh boy. It's early, but it's late.
It's
you know what I'm saying?
It's early in the season.
Late.
Everybody take a deep breath.
When you're 10 under 500, it's very, very late. So, you grew up a Brewers fan. You know what I'm talking about.
100%.
The struggle
but
is
my
real.
Brewers are not 10 under 500 right now.
I know.
To point out.
But you've had a few of those.
Yeah. Oh, just a few. Just a few.
Take care of yourself up there. Rest up. We'll see you when the Red Sox get here.
All right. Cool. Thanks, Nestor.
Trenni Kuznierek joining us here. She is Trenni. She's the only Trenni. Trenni on Twitter. Man, if I could just be Nestor on Twitter, that'd be kind of cool. I should have grabbed that early on. Probably could have been Nester, then I would have spelled it wrong, but who knows. The BuyAToyota.com Audio Vault is there 24 hours a day from anywhere in the world on your mobile device by downloading the TuneIn Radio app. We do come in crystal clear from anywhere in the world. Our morning newspaper ships digitally to your email inbox each and every morning. It's all brought to you by Planet Fitness and PlanetFitness.com, where it's still $10 a month to get in the best shape of your life. We also have the Maryland Jockey Club and the Laurel entries involved in our morning newspaper each and every morning, as well as on the front of our WNST.net website. Had the Tessio last week. We're a couple weeks out on the Kentucky Derby and the Preakness. You can learn more at Preakness.com. I am Nestor. Nasty at WNST.net finds me. Facebook, Twitter, LinkedIn, Snapchat, Instagram, streaming live on our Facebook, as well as our YouTube WNS TV channel. We are WNST.net, AM 1570, and WNST Towson, Baltimore, and we never stop talking Baltimore sports.